And we're still talking Mark Hamill and Star Wars and that awful sequel trilogy and all of that stuff. A new report, Nick, came out yesterday. Mark Hamill says there's no beef between Rian Johnson despite the Last Jedi disagreement. He made a great movie, and maybe I should have kept my Luke Skywalker criticisms, is what he said, to himself. So he regrets all of the things that he said. Now, if you think back, Nick, when before The Last Jedi came out, even before The Force Awakens came out, Mark Hamill sent so many clear messages to the fans saying this is not going to be what you are expecting. It's not going to be what you grew up with. If you walk into the theater thinking you're going to see the same thing, you're going to leave very disappointed. And he talked about how much he disagreed with Rian Johnson and his take on Hamill's character of Luke Skywalker. So what do you think about his comments here? Why all these years later is he showing regret and he's saying The Last Jedi is actually a terrific movie. Rian Johnson's great. I should have kept my mouth shut and not ever voiced my criticisms. My bad.
I think he's honestly just playing nice at this point. He definitely was not happy at the time. I mean, that's, I think, pretty pretty clear and evident from
well documented
videos. Yeah. So at this point in time, the thing is, he's done being Luke Skywalker. He's done playing Luke Skywalker. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't think he cares at all. And I think he's basically just trying to just move on and kind of forget all about all that and basically just, play nice. Even though, and I think he's probably telling the truth as far as not having any beef with Rian Johnson. I'm sure, when they were together, other than him not agreeing with the way he was portraying Luke, that disagreement. Outside of that, I'm sure they're probably nice to each other and liked each other just fine.
I would think so.
I mean, most people with disagreements, who are friends or work colleagues, get along fine, outside of maybe, one or two disagreements or difference of opinions they might have. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, he probably doesn't have any beef with Rian Johnson personally, but I definitely don't think that he thinks that it was a great movie, because I think that's pretty well documented too, that he didn't think that, that they were great movies.
Well, he has said a couple of times that, hey, it's a great movie, everything except for what happened with Luke. Everything else, I don't have a problem with. It's great.
Yeah.
But as far as it goes with what they did with my character, I fundamentally disagree with how you see this character. The thing about Hamill, I'm glad that he said what he said back those years ago about the movie. I'm glad that he came out and said those things, but I also got to see it this way. He's actually right in hindsight. He's an actor, and he's getting paid to play this character.
Yeah.
For good or bad, doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. If you have that big of a problem with it, then don't play the character.
Yeah.
Go do something else. But you signed on to do this for a job, and if you can't handle doing or acting out and carrying out what the vision is, then don't do it. I do agree that professionally speaking, he should not have came out. Again, as a Star Wars fan, I'm glad that he did.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those gray areas for me. Imagine if you were the producer of the movie. You'd probably be like, shut your mouth. If you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Yeah. The thing is, he's under contract. He is obligated to do it. He had to do it at that point, before he ever saw a script, and the thing is, when they signed on, George still owned Lucasfilm.
Yes.
And so they had those contracts signed. Then Disney bought it, and then George isn't involved. And they're like, this isn't what we signed up for. There might have been something that they could have done to get out of it once Disney bought it, possibly. But, I mean, what else did they have going on in their careers at that time?
Nothing. And if you remember back, they met and George told him Harrison was already on board.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill didn't think there was any way that they'd actually be doing this because they didn't think Harrison would come back and do it.
Yeah. And the fact that he was coming back and doing it, they're like, sign us on. We're game, without seeing the script, without knowing who's all involved, none of that. But they were probably all under the impression at the time that George Lucas was going to be making these movies.
Right. Well, and if you want to remind yourself what actually Mark Hamill said, all of the things that he said, not just one thing, multiple times, then you need to go and check out our sequel trilogy documentary that we made, because we have all of that explicitly documented there. You actually won't find another place where you can get all of that information and all of those clips of Mark Hamill saying those things and his criticisms before the movie and after. So go and check out our documentary there.
And just FYI, guys, the YouTube version of the documentary is edited, and there are a couple spots that are muted because we had to do it because people were coming after us for copyright claims. But on our Patreon is the full, uncut, unedited version.
Yeah.
So if you guys are Patreon members, it's only $5 a month. You can go watch the whole thing, uncut, unedited over there.
Yep. Well, guys, thank you very much for being here with us as we look at this Mark Hamill latest news with Star Wars. More coming very soon. We are EBN. See you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.